What's up, everybody?
Tino here, and we're here today for some fantasy football and NFL talk as we are already at week number 11 and the playoffs are starting to kick in. Playoff picture coming together. We're about to find out which teams are going to be able to make it through and which teams are going to fall apart. We got a lot of things to talk about here today, so let's not waste any time and let's get right into it. We do not have any comments yet, but if you do have any comments, you have any questions, concerns, let me know what you guys are all thinking. I'm here to answer your questions, anything else like that. But right now, let's do the way we always started off here. Let's go over the week that was, and then we'll talk about the week that is going to be. I'll give you some streamers, pickups, all that good stuff, and then we'll talk to the chat. But let's talk about week number 10. That was the NFL season this past week. On Thursday night, we had the Ravens and Bengals go at it in an absolute shootout, one of the best Thursday night games of the year, as we had the Ravens come out and win by 1 point. And by the way, my record for this week was 8-6. So shout out to me. I did pretty good this week. Ravens got the win 35-34. And as I said last week, I kind of felt like this was going to be a big shootout game. And I knew that this game was going to be somewhat very good and high scoring. But Ja'Marr Chase had himself a fantastic day. He had 55 points. Joe Burrow had over 45 points. Lamar Jackson had over 40 points. Rashad Bateman had 15-plus points. And all around, it was a great day for fantasy purposes. And if you were a Baltimore Ravens fan. On Sunday morning, we saw the Giants and the Panthers go at it as Chuba Hubbard had himself a very good day. He put up 20-plus points. He had himself a touchdown. He had over 100 yards. As the Carolina Panthers went on to win as a field goal in overtime in Munich, Germany, as they beat the Giants 20-17. And then on Sunday, we saw all these games go down as we were live for the 49ers and the Buccaneers, which was a very good game. But we also had the Vikings win against the Jaguars as Mac Jones could not move the offense for the Jaguars, no matter how hard he tried. Sam Darnold threw 3 interceptions in the red zone. And the Vikings may very well be not going to be what we all thought they were going to be. And the NFC North is starting to fall apart as I predicted it to be, except I was hoping that it wasn't going to be my team that was going to fall apart. As you see right there, the New England Patriots did the unthinkable as they upset the Chicago Bears 19-13. Drake May had a great day. Caleb Williams could not do anything with the offense. The New England Patriots defense looked like they had Tom Brady on the offense. And it looked like we were watching the Patriots from 2006, 7, and all those years for their dynasty. Great defense, good quarterback play, and they went on to win the game. Sadly, it was against my Bears, and now the Bears are 4-5. The Vikings continue to win. The Lions win, as you see right there, 26-23 over the Texans on Sunday Night Football. So that was a very good game and a game that came down to a field goal, like many games this past week. The Texans did not have a great day. The Lions defense had a pretty decent day. Jahmyr Gibbs had an okay day, but there really wasn't anybody on that game that was like, oh my goodness. The Falcons and the Saints. Another game that was decided by a field goal as the Saints won 20-17. We saw a lot of things go down. Kirk Cousins didn't have himself a great day, but Bijan Robinson continues to prove why he is one of the greatest of all time. And the Falcons still lose 20-17 as the Saints won. And they got their win with their first head coach. We got the Titans and we got the Chargers as they won 27-17. Hey, can I call you after my show? All right. We had the Chargers as they won. The Chargers did 27-17. Will Levis couldn't do anything, but Justin Herbert found his guy, Quentin Johnson, for a touchdown. And they went on to win the game and have themselves a very good day. The Miami Dolphins on Monday night, as we see right there, they went on to beat the Rams 23-15. The Rams could not do anything. Dolphins defense played really good. Tua did good. Waddle came back like he was on a mission. Tyreek Hill got a touchdown, and it was the Dolphins that we all know and love. Back to Sunday, we had the Chiefs barely win as the Chiefs blocked a field goal that would have won the Broncos the game, but the Broncos can't do anything right. Sean Payton loses. Bo Nix has been very impressive, but that Denver Broncos defense only held the Chiefs to 16 points. And I said last week that it could have been a very well-trapped game, and they were so close to winning that game. The game that we were live, 23-20, I think we did good this week as we picked this game. The 49ers did good. It was a good game. Baker did his thing. Christian McCaffrey returned, and everything's right in 49er land. The Eagles put on a spanking against Cooper Rush as we found out Dak Prescott will now be out for the year as he will be having season-ending surgery. Dak Prescott, get better and get back sooner because we don't like to see injuries, and Dak has had a few injuries. And to be honest, as somebody that, I never like to see anybody get hurt no matter who it is. If it's on the team that I root for or whatever team it may be, I do not want to see anybody get hurt. So Dak, get better, come back, and Cooper Rush will now be holding the reins for the Cowboys. For now, unless they put Trey Lance in. I don't think it would be a bad idea to put Trey Lance in. On Sunday, we also had the Steelers and Commanders. Steelers won 28-27. Russell Wilson did his thing. George Pickens made a phenomenal catch. And the Commanders came so close to pulling out another win like they did against Chicago. But this time, the Steelers didn't let them. And the Commanders lost by 1 point. The Buffalo Bills beat the Colts 30-20. Looks like Anthony Richardson will be back this upcoming week for the Colts, as they are now going to be moving back to him after 2 weeks on the bench. And then as we saw, the New York Jets get their butts kicked by the Arizona Cardinals. The Jets couldn't do anything. Adams and Rodgers looked lost. Cardinals defense looks phenomenal. They scored 31 points. They did all together. And the Cardinals are somebody that we might have to keep an eye out because they are a very, very good football team. And they just seem to be getting better as the weeks go on. We had the teams with byes, the Packers, the Seahawks, the Browns, and the Raiders. But they will be back this week. And it will be all okay because we do got some really good games for this upcoming week. But now let's get to and let's talk about and let's get to what we are doing and let's talk about week 11 because that was week 10 and now it's time to get to week 11 because, we got some games going down this week. But first, as we always do here on the channel, I'm going to let you guys know the teams that have a bye because the teams that have a bye, you will not be able to use those guys. And you're going to have to find guys that are going to be needed to be put in your lineup for the guys that are not going to be able to play because obviously they are on a bye and they are not available this week, which is why we have Kyler Murray, James Conner, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, Chuba Hubbard, if you're using Bryce Young in 2 quarterback leagues, if you got Xavier Legette, if you have Daniel Jones, if you have Tyrone Tracy Jr., if you have Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Rashad White, Bucky Irving, all these guys are going to be out this week. But it does look like we will see Mike Evans return after the bye week, which is good. And let those guys get on those 4 teams. Let them get a little healthier and let them all come back next week better than they obviously are right now. But let's talk about week 11, that is. And let's get right to it as we will be here live tomorrow night. Excited for this because we'll be back here for Thursday Night Football as we begin the week with the Eagles and the Commanders, second Commanders game that we're doing this year. But I thought, why not? Let's try a Thursday night game. And this game could very well be one of the best games of the week. Commanders, Eagles, Thursday Night Football. Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels going to tear it down. And I'm going to say that the Commanders lose 31-28. Against the Eagles. Jaguars and the Lions. Mac Jones is going to be playing again. Trevor Lawrence has already been ruled out. So I'm going to say the Lions win this one 31-10. And the Lions just have themselves a practice day against the Jaguars. We got the Rams and the Patriots. After I saw what the Patriots did last week, I'm going to say the Patriots win again. And they're going to upset the Rams. I'm not going to say it's not going to be like, I'm not going to say that the Rams are only going to put up 3 points, but I'm going to say the Patriots win by a score of 23-17. We have a big divisional matchup as it's the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Baltimore Ravens. It's Lamar Jackson taking on Russell Wilson. It's going to be a good matchup and it's going to be a good showdown. But in the end, I'm going to say that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens win 28-27, and Russell Wilson comes so close to beating the MVP. The Colts and the Jets have to get this right. And if they can't do it against Anthony Richardson and the Colts, then I think the Jets need to figure out what they're doing with their lives. So I'm going to say the Jets win this by a score of 20-10. Not going to be a lot of scoring, but I do believe the Jets could hold Anthony Richardson down. And I do believe that the Colts will not be able to figure anything out because Anthony Richardson just has not been the guy that we thought he was going to be. Now we got the Seahawks and the 49ers, another great divisional matchup that we saw in the NFC Championship game for 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 years when Richard Sherman, we had Colin Kaepernick, Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin. We had all those great guys on that team. But now it's Geno Smith and the return of the man himself, DK Metcalf, as they take on Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy. Very well could be a very good game of the week and one of the top games of the week. And that is why I'm going to say that the final score of this game is going to be 30-27 with the 49ers coming out on top. We got the Bills and the Chiefs, a matchup that we've seen in the playoffs a bunch of times. And every time these two teams get together, it's oh so fun to watch. I'm excited to see it go down, and it's going to be a fun one. And I'm going to be bold on this one. I'm going to say the Bills win this one 34-31 as the Bills hit a game-winning field goal, and they finally defeat the Super Bowl champs trying to go for 3 Super Bowls in a row. Chiefs are going to go to 8-1. Falcons and Broncos. It's going to be the Falcons and Kirk Cousins as they take on Bo Nix and the Broncos. And let's say Bo Nix wins this game, and let's say it's 24-17, and Bo Nix throws a touchdown to Cordell Sutton at the end of the game to win it. Vikings and Titans. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game with this one. I'm going to say it's going to be 35-28, and I'm going to say the Vikings win by a touchdown, but I would not put it past the Titans to put up a very good performance. We have the Saints and the Browns. It's going to be a very good one, I think. I think it's going to be a lot of defense, to be honest. Nick Chubb should be getting back and better as the weeks go on. David Njoku. Derek Carr, Chris Olave obviously out, but the Saints still have Alvin Kamara and other guys. MVS, Marquez, Valdez, Scantling stepping up big time for the Saints. I think he is a very good option this week. Also, if you do need a wide receiver, Browns and Saints is one that I don't know how to call, but I'm going to say it's 17-14, and I'm going to say the Saints win because the Saints are at home. Raiders and Dolphins, let's say the Dolphins win this. They're at home. The Raiders can't do anything right now, and the Dolphins are going to win as they're going to have a blowout game, and they're going to win 42-7. And now, before we get to the Sunday night and the Monday night, let's talk about the game that I've been praying not to talk about, but here it is, guys. It's Green Bay Fudge Packers, those Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love, as they are taking on my Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, DJ Moores, and DeAndre Swift. I'm excited, but also scared. I hate these games. I have so much PTSD with these games, but it's a divisional game, and as a football fan, these games are always exciting to watch. After what the Bears have done the last 2 weeks, I don't know how well they're going to do against a team that is coming out and playing very good. I want to take the Bears to win, but I got to be realistic here. I'm going to say the Green Bay Packers win against the Bears 28-24, and the Bears cannot figure it out. And I don't know. I hope the Bears win, but Green Bay is probably going to keep owning us until the Bears get an offensive line so Caleb Williams doesn't get sacked 10 times. But that is Green Bay Packers, and that is the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Now let's talk about Sunday night as we got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase taking on Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey, as it's going to be a good AFC matchup against these two guys and teams that we could possibly see in the playoffs down the road. We'll have to wait and see for that. But I think this is going to be a very good game on Monday, or on Sunday Night Football, I should say. But I'm going to say the Bengals win 35-30. The Chargers put up a good fight, but Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase continue to do their thing. And they just continue to prove why they are the greatest tag team and duo in the NFL. And then now we got Monday Night Football as it's the Texans taking on Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys. There's no way that Cooper Rush is going to have himself a phenomenal day. But I'm going to say the Texans win this. But I'm going to say it's only like 27-17. I don't think the Texans are going to completely destroy them. I will say the Texans do need a game like that because the Texans have been struggling really, really bad. And I think if they could have a get-right game, it could be against this team and the team that, has not been playing very good. Their defense is struggling. Their offense is struggling. Everybody's struggling. And I just think that it could be a very good opportunity. So I'm going to say that they win 27-10, 27-17, I should say. And the Texans have themselves a good day, and we see what goes down with that. But now, before we get into all my waiver wire pickups, my streamers, and all that stuff, let's get to the chat. Let's see if we do have any comments in here, and let's see if you guys got any good stuff. We got Rocco in the house. What's up, Rocco? I tried to get Rocco on the channel, or on the episode today, but I think Rocco is still busy. That's okay. But Rocco, thanks for stopping by in the chat. I have a crazy trade. I traded Jahmyr Gibbs and Josh Downs. I got Tyreek Hill and Chase Brown. I'm 3-7 and dead last. My roster is Gibbs, Cook, Montgomery, Wilson, Liv. Honestly, I mean, I am in the same type of situation that I am 3-7 in one of my leagues. Except the only good thing is that I have an opportunity to make it because there are 6 teams to make the playoffs. But obviously, it looks like you do not have that situation. It looks like maybe your league only has 4, or your league is a lot better than my league, and you have no opportunity of catching the 6th place guy. In that case, I think this is a great trade for you because you get Tyreek Hill that's coming back, getting his boy Tua back, got back in the end zone last week. And Chase Brown has been a very good, reliable running back. With, Jahmyr Gibbs, as much as I love Jahmyr Gibbs, there are some weeks that David Montgomery gets more, and that's very frustrating. But in Chase Brown's scenario, there's nobody else there with him. So if you're trying to do a crazy trade, man, I'd say hit that button and accept it. Just you got nothing else to lose at this point, right? Trade Terry McLaurin, B. John Robinson, and Najee for Jahmyr Gibbs. My other wide receivers are Jamar, Amon, and Cooper Kupp. So you are getting Jahmyr Gibbs. Who else is your running back? Freely Fantasy. Let me know. Who is your other running back? Because make sure you don't give away all your running backs to just, you got to make sure you still have options to go out there. And speaking of options, let me know who that is in the chat. Let me know if you guys got any other questions. All that good stuff. But let's get to it. And let's talk about the waiver wire pickups, the streamers, and all that good stuff that we have here. Alec Pierce is a good option if you need a wide receiver. Russell Wilson is a good quarterback option. We have Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman had 16 points last week, and it looks like he's not going anywhere. Demario Douglas had a decent game against Chicago. We saw Jonnu Smith came 1 yard away from scoring a touchdown. Jameson Winston, if you need a quarterback in 2 quarterback leagues. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I talked about him a little bit earlier. He had a very good game last week. And they did say he could become the number 1 in New Orleans with Chris Olave out. With Dalton Kincaid getting and being questionable after last week, being out last week in the game, and leaving the game early and everything else like that. Dawson Knox could be a good option at tight end. And then we got Tyler Algier. As Tyler Algier has been a very, not great running back, but he still puts up points and he will not leave you with a goose egg. Now, let's also talk about the other waiver wire pickups that I have for you. The top 10, that is. I want to show you those, and now let's show you the top 10. At number 10, we got our guy, Bo Nix from the Baltimore Ravens. Not the Baltimore Ravens. From the Denver Broncos. If you need a quarterback, like I said, 2 quarterback leagues. If you got Kyler Murray, you're using Bryce Young. If you're using one of the guys that are on a bye, Bo Nix could be a good option. Cam Akers for the Vikings, depending on what happens with Aaron Jones. Cam Akers seems to be getting involved a little bit more, and I think he is a very good option if you need a running back to pick up. Justin Herbert, I don't know if Justin Herbert is still on the waiver wire, and if he is, I feel like people are dumb and he should not be, but go pick him up if he is. Jaylen Warren has always been that guy that's been very good, and he's been very underrated to a guy that we like. He does a lot of things that other guys don't do, and he always seems to put up very good numbers. Tyjae Spears seems to be back in the Titans' backfield with Tony Pollard kind of being banged up as of late. Tyjae Spears seems to be getting a little bit more carries. And with bye weeks and everything, like I said, you need a running back, take a look at Tyjae Spears. We got John Mechie, as he will be, and he is the wide receiver for the Texans. I will say that, I'm not going to go out there and put him as my number 1 waiver wire priority. But obviously with Stephon Diggs and other guys out, somebody's got to step up, and John has done that thing very well. Elijah Moore, wide receivers, you always need a wide receiver. If he's out there, go pick him up. Also, Cedric Wilson, I know he is the number 1. But Elijah Moore has also been one of those guys that he has been very reliable at certain times. Now let's talk about Mitchell from the Colts, as he is a wide receiver that's been very good as of late. Michael Pittman has not been what we thought he was. Alec Pierce has been very good lately. And, I don't know how much I would really want to be in the Colts options, but if you need a wide receiver, go and stash him and see what happens. Now, 2 guys that you should probably be starting this week if you do have the option to. Ricky Parcell seems to be getting that number one option in the 49ers with obviously the things that happened with Brandon Ayuk. Deebo Samuel's been hurt. George Kittle has been hurt most of the year. And everything else like that. It should be very interesting to see what happens. But Ricky's had a very good game as of late. And I think he's somebody you could have on your team. And number one, Javonte Williams and stuff seems to be not being very good. And he might not be ready to play this week. But if you need a running back, go and get S time, as he seems to be the guy that will be stepping up. And I'm not saying that you're going to go and I'm not saying that he's going to put up 50 points. But if he is getting the most work at this week and this upcoming week, I think he is a very good option for you. And all of the guys that I just mentioned are available in 50% of fantasy football leagues. Now let's talk about the fantasy quarterbacks and tight ends that you can stream this week. And then I'm going to get to the chat, see what else you guys are saying. And then if there's nothing else, I'm just going to say goodbye. And then we will be back here tomorrow night as we watch Thursday Night Football with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. But let's talk about these quarterbacks and these tight ends. I talked about Justin Herbert a little bit. I talked about Bo Nix. We talked about Jameis and Winston. But the two guys I do want to talk a little bit about is Russell Wilson against the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, Russell Wilson is not, Baltimore Ravens defense is still okay. But I feel like this game is going to be very high scoring, and Russell Wilson's going to have to throw the ball. So again, I'm not saying you start him over guys that are getting like Josh Allen and stuff, but I'm just saying you need a quarterback, 2-quarterback league, whatever it may be. Russell Wilson might not be that bad of an option, as also will be Drake May. Drake May had a phenomenal game against the Bears last week, but with guys, as I said, like Kyler Murray and stuff like that on a bye this week, Drake May might just be a decent option. Jonnu Smith, I just mentioned him. He would have had a touchdown if he didn't get tackled at the 1-yard line. And he had 8 points last week. And that's not much. And that's not bad for a tight end when we're not getting that many points from the tight end position. Will Dissly against the Cincinnati Bengals with Trey McBride, tight ends and stuff like that on a bye this week. You're going to have to find somebody to replace him, and Will Dissly could be that guy. Zach Ertz, I think you should be starting Zach Ertz every week, as Zach Ertz has been a very good option all year. Jaden Daniels loves him, and it's like his security blanket. We got Hunter Henry, as Hunter Henry has been another good option this year. And Hunter Henry is somebody, again, I think that you should be starting anyway. And Hunter Henry is somebody that could be an option if you need a tight end. Also, as I just mentioned, Dawson Knox. And those are my quarterbacks. My streamers and my picks for week number 10. I accidentally removed the camera for a second. But now, that is all that I got here for you guys. But we don't seem to have any more comments. So I guess that's how we're going to end here today's show. It seems like, today's not that busy of a week, which I get. I feel you. But if you are watching this on delay, and if you do have any questions, you do have any comments, you do want to ask me anything, you have a trade, like we had the few trades in the comments, let me know. Always here to help you guys. And as I said, I will be here live tomorrow for that Philadelphia Eagles and the Commanders game as we do begin week number 11 of the football season. Because we will not be live here this Sunday, I figured why not come tomorrow since we got nothing else really going on, and let's watch some football. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow here for the football, and then we will not be here on Sunday. And then on Friday, we'll be here for Friday Night SmackDown. We will not be here for Friday Night SmackDown. I lied, as I'm going to Friday Night SmackDown. And I actually am going to be having something premiere on Friday before I go to SmackDown because we finally got it done. It's been a little bit of time. It's been about 34 days. I know, please don't yell at me. But it was about a month ago on October 1st that we saw the premiere episode of the CW, the NXT that was in Chicago, Illinois, as I was at the Allstate Arena for it. So you guys are going to go take a look at my experience on Friday. I figured since we're not going to be live, and I'm going to SmackDown, and we'll have another vlog for SmackDown. But now that I figured out how to do it and everything else like that, it will be out a lot faster than this one. But I still want to show you my experience from NXT a month ago in and at the Allstate Arena. So on Friday, before SmackDown, before I leave for the show, I'm going to do a little intro video. We're going to watch the vlog, and I'm going to come back here, and we're going to talk a little bit, and I'm going to leave for Friday Night SmackDown and everything else like that. And then Saturday, we will be here for a TTW episode as I talk about my SmackDown experience We talk about the women's mid-card titles as we have the U.S. Championship officially announced. It's only a matter of time before we see the Intercontinental Champion be announced at some point. But the women mid-card titles are here. It's TTW episode number 16, and I cannot wait to talk about it. But guys, that's all I got here for you today. So thank you for the few people that did come here and stop by. I understand if you guys are all busy, you're at work, whatever you got going on today. As I said, if you're watching on delay, leave any comments in the comment section, and I'll answer them right away. But if I don't, and we don't see each other until tomorrow when we watch the Eagles and Commanders, guys, make sure you go follow all the social medias. Go check out the OTM crew, the main event crew over there, Southside Boys 23 on Twitter and X. Make sure that you go and follow all the social medias. Make sure you hit that like button on this episode. You subscribe on the road to 3K. And lastly, guys, turn that notification button on so you know when we go live next, which will be tomorrow night for Thursday Night Football. It's Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley as they take on Austin Eckler and Jaden Daniels. Guys, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, and I'll see you tomorrow night for some Thursday Night Football as it's an NFC East divisional matchup.